All right, good morning. I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Davis and Chief Ford here. With us, just for everyone's information, Commissioner Kevin Davis, Chief Niles Ford of the Baltimore City Fire Department, Paul Shepard, who's the spokesperson for the MTA. I'm Chief TJ Smith, the Director or Chief of Media Relations for the Baltimore Police Department. So before we begin with a briefing, Chief Ford and Commissioner Davis.
Okay, good morning. The Chief TJ Smith is going to go over the details as we know them right now. They're still very preliminary. This is a crash investigation. We have every resource available to the police department and the fire department out here assisting us in this crash investigation. Several people were killed this morning when these two buses collided. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims, their families, their co-workers, their loved ones. Obviously, folks who are on a bus this time of the morning are working folks, and they're on their way to make a living. They're on their way to their jobs, and they're on their way to support their families. So, our hearts and prayers go out to them, to their families, to their co-workers as well. So, this is a complicated crash scene. It's going to take a lot of resources to get to the bottom of what happened. Chief Smith will have some preliminary information about what we know right now, but we're going to be out here for a while today, and throughout the day I think it's just important to keep the families in mind and the folks who lost their lives. Chief.
We also want to keep in mind the hard work that the responders did in very tough circumstances. They did an outstanding job. This was a major incident. Some of which that some seasoned individuals in my organization said they haven't seen this type of wreck in their career.
All right, I'll go over the details as we know them, understanding that a lot of this can absolutely change as we go through the morning. It was about 7 o'clock this morning when we got a call for a crash here in the 3800 block of Frederick Avenue. What we know at this point is that a yellow school bus was eastbound on Frederick Avenue, which is right here behind me where we're standing. It struck this vehicle that's right behind me, a Mustang. Once the yellow school bus struck the Mustang, it continued eastbound, then struck the pillar at the Loudon Park Cemetery. The pillar has some damage to it, as you can see. The bus struck that pillar and then continued eastbound where it went into the oncoming traffic and struck an MTA bus on its driver's side and basically ripped the entire driver's side off of the vehicle. It literally looks like a bomb exploded in the bus, and it's catastrophic damage. We know that there are 5 fatalities on the MTA bus, and that number can change. We have not yet searched the vehicle, but what we know at this point that there are 5 fatalities on the MTA bus. The other fatality was on the yellow bus. There were 2 occupants on the yellow bus, a driver and an aide. Right now, we believe there were approximately 13 people on the MTA bus. 8 people have been transported from the MTA bus with varying degrees of injury. Those injuries are from minor to critical. We also have 1 individual who was transported to the hospital from the yellow bus, and of course an individual who was transported from this vehicle right behind me, the Mustang. So 10 people were transported by the Baltimore Fire Department to various hospitals with varying degrees of injury. We can't speculate on the cause of this crash at this point. We have assistance from all of our investigative units on scene. Just to clear up any rumors, I understand there were some rumors circulating about this being a crime scene. It is not a crime scene, it's a crash investigation scene. We have our detectives from the homicide unit here because they're used to dealing with death investigations, and we have a mass casualty incident involving multiple fatalities, so we asked for additional assistance to come out. So this is not a crime scene, it's a crash scene. At this point, our investigation is going to continue. It is a pretty horrific scene. I've been on a number of crash scenes throughout my career, and one of the questions that inevitably comes up is how long the road is going to be shut down. Again, people are going to have to go around this for their minor inconvenience while we do our due diligence for the families of the victims involved in this absolutely tragic situation that occurred out here this morning. So with that being said, we can take a couple of questions.
What's the circumstance of the school bus? Was it contracting with the city, or was it going to a private school in the city?
You know, I don't know the exact answer to that, but it was going to pick up a young person about 4 or 5 blocks away. So there were no children on the school bus. We do not at this time have the ages of those who were on the MTA bus.
You said 2 people were on board the bus. Was it the driver?
The driver and the aide were on the yellow bus.
The driver killed on the yellow bus?
The driver was killed on the yellow bus.
Could I ask the fire chief, can you just describe for us, your firefighters and rescue personnel who went into that bus, can you describe what they went through, the mechanics of trying to save people's lives, and how to use it?
In order to get into first let's talk about the school bus. In order for them to get into the school bus, they literally had to cut out seats. They initially went in the front compartment where people normally go in the school bus, and they found themselves going in partly in the back, trying to cut their way up to the driver and the patient that was in there at that time. The MTA bus is they're still working their way through. The problem is just as was stated before, this was a significant wreck. So there are still portions of the bus that our people have not been able to fully access.
Do you still have victims inside the bus, sir?
Yeah, this is I sent out a media advisory earlier asking the media to be mindful of the fact that we have 6 DOAs on the scene. So people who are taking pictures, people who are filming, we saw some private photographers out there. That's not appropriate to post online. Consider if this was one of your loved ones on this on one of these buses. So that's not appropriate. John?
Jay, is there any indication this vehicle here was not properly registered, stolen vehicle?
This vehicle behind me? No, we don't have any reason to believe that at this point in time. Again, this vehicle was struck in the rear by the yellow school bus. The school bus then continued on, striking the pillar here, then continue. I mean, this is several hundred yards that we're talking about. So we have no reason to believe this was a stolen vehicle. That'll be part of our investigation, but I don't really know where that came from, honestly, but no reason to believe that.
With the driver dead, how will you
Megan, hold on, Megan. We don't know that yet, but it was going to pick up a student. Mike?
With the driver dead, how will you determine what really happened in this case?
Well, the medical examiner will be able to tell us. I know a working theory that's been introduced was there a medical emergency? The medical examiner will be able to make that determination to see if a medical emergency preceded the incident. We also have a surviving victim that was on the yellow bus that once we're able to interview can fill in some details for us.
Do you believe speed?
Colin?
High rates of speed?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe the high rates?
We don't know. What we do know, the commissioner observed down on the scene as well, there aren't any skid marks. So something catastrophic took place, and it's something that we're continuing to investigate. And again, to see the damage that took place on the bus, it was certainly at a speed that you would travel here on Frederick Avenue.
Was there any video on either the school bus or the MTA bus?
We don't know that yet. That'll be part of our investigation.
Was the MTA bus driver?
I don't want to go into the particulars of who was killed on the MTA bus, as we have a next of kin to discuss. And I know I mentioned that the bus driver on the yellow bus was killed, but that was a little bit different in that scenario. So we want to do it the right way, because we have, unfortunately, 6 families that we have to notify that their loved ones aren't coming home. All right. We'll provide an update as we get it. We'll try to get out some ages and conditions on the people that are in the hospital a little bit later on. This road will be shut down for a significant period of time. We're asking people to take alternate routes and not to congregate around the area, because there will be an extended period of time that this road will be shut down. All right, thank you, guys.
That was Chief TJ Smith from the Baltimore City Police Department giving us some more details. We know that 5 people were killed on that MTA bus. 1 person, the driver of the school bus, was killed. There was an aide on the bus as well. Those were the only 2 people on the school bus. The aide did survive and was injured, and police hope to get more information from that person as a witness to find out what happened. The scenario that they're piecing together is that the school bus was traveling eastbound on Frederick Avenue, struck the Mustang, continued on, struck a pillar, and then crashed into that MTA bus, basically tearing it apart. Let's head over to Captain Roy Taylor for some more information. Were you able to hear the press conference, Roy?
Yes, I was. And Mindy, we're going to follow up on exactly what you said. I'm going to have Bridget widen out and work our way back towards the Mustang here. That way we can actually get a good perspective of what the press conference was talking about. I mean, if you look at the damage to the rear of that Mustang, I mean, the whole rear of the car is just literally demolished. And I mean, it was pushed up and actually smacked into the sidewalk and to the pillar there. And then there's so much significant damage to that Mustang. And then the school bus travels straight on from that point there, pretty much in a straight line to where the bend in the road is. And that's where it crosses the double yellow line and strikes the MTA bus on the left side, ripping it open like a can opener. So there's significant damage. And you were talking about speed. It looks like it was at cruise speed, that there was no attempt to slow down. The only thing that was slowing it down was the residual effects from striking the other vehicles and the other impacts that it had, until it finally ripped at least half of that MTA bus, maybe 3/4 of that MTA bus apart. And I mean, just tearing it open, demolishing it. So if you notice, the front left cab where the engine is of the school bus is embedded into that MTA bus. So significant damage. It's just amazing with the amount of force that was put in there and the amount of people that were hurt. We're just lucky that the MTA bus was not completely full.
Police mentioned no tire marks on the roadway, which indicates something catastrophic occurring. No attempt to brake.
Yes, I'm sorry. Say the other radio blocked you out, Mindy. Try it again, please.
The police had mentioned that there are no tire marks on the roadway. It appears something catastrophic occurred because there appeared to be no attempt to brake by the school bus.
Well, there's no skid marks on the road whatsoever. That we know. I don't know about anti-lock brakes for the school bus, but there's no evidence whatsoever that the bus attempted to brake. That's what kind of led me to think that there might have been some type of medical problem where the individual ended up striking the Mustang, and then you go a great distance from that position there, and it ends up going down to the hitting the MTA bus. So, I mean, from the point where the Mustang is literally demolished to the point to where the school bus hits the MTA bus, there's no skid marks, there's no sign of the bus trying to avoid any type of collision or trying to slow down, because the speed remained constant with the amount of damage that you have to the school bus.
This is obviously a massive accident here. Can you give us an idea how long it might take to figure out exactly what happened? And perhaps because the aide on that school bus did survive, hopefully that person can help to give some more information about exactly what happened, right?
Yeah, that's going to be great that the aide was able to survive. Hopefully, as soon as police are able to talk to that individual, that will help shed some light on what transpired. But with all the, the damage that has been done and the distance between the impacts, I would say that this is going to be shut down at least 8 hours. I mean, these officers are going to have to do a lot of investigation. They still have to remove the bodies. With the assistance from the fire department and the medical examiners. So it's going to be a good day that Frederick Road is going to be shut down at this spot here, and I wouldn't expect them to be opening it up until they have all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed on this.
And no children on the school bus, but it was chilling to hear Chief T.J. Smith mention that bus was on its way to pick up a child just a couple blocks down the road.
Yes, fortunately, no children were on the bus. It's just unfortunate to have something of this type of accident where it's just, you're on your MTA bus, you're in the process of trying to go to work, the next thing you know, tragedy strikes.
Yes.
So until the police were able to figure out what transpired and what happened and the medical examiner do their investigation, it's just heartbreaking. It
is heartbreaking. As Commissioner Davis said, these 5 people who passed away were on the bus on their way to work to provide for their families, and they won't be coming home. It's just a really very sad morning here in Baltimore.
Yes.
All right, Captain Roy Taylor, thank you so much for your work today. We'll check back with you when we can.
Okay.
We'll have much more ahead at 11 News at noon. We'll continue to follow this story for you and have the latest for you, so stay tuned.